People, what's up? Hey, y'all see this right here? This was my very first fishing rod. Not this bottle, but actually a Sun Drop bottle. Yes, Kyle. Yeah, back down here in the holler, that's where my grandma used to fish with. She didn't have a fishing rod. She had a cane pole, a soda bottle, old cheap line, tied on, twist it up, hook it, sink it, bait it. All your line spooled on this. Hold your line, you cast it out, it untwines from here. You sit there and you hold this. Right here's your handle. Get a fish. Reel her on in, y'all. Back in, I want to say it's probably cost 15, 20 cents. Spool of line like it's going to cost about 50, 60 cents. If that. You can go catch fish for under $1, y'all. Dig you some worms up. That's what I started off on. That right there. Man, what things have progressed to. Hey, we got a good one for y'all. Got this thin line right here. Get this stuff out of my way. I've been meeting so many people on the bank since I've been doing this YouTube channel. I'm going to tell you what, it's awesome. It's amazing. I love it. It makes me feel so good. The people walk up to me and say, hey, you Mike? Or you Richard? Hey, Catfish people, what's up? You know, it's awesome. So I've had a couple of guys that I've met on the bank. You know, they've checked out the way that I do my rigs, and my rigs are self-taught and a lot of YouTube. I look up these rigs. I watch countless hundreds of hours of YouTube on fishing and techniques about different bodies of water, different styles of water, everything that I can possibly learn. Excuse me, y'all. And these rigs are all the rigs that I have either been taught how to tie by my papa, my dad, a buddy, somebody, or I have learned on YouTube. A couple of these rigs are brand new. So we're going to get into those rigs. Also, I'm going to tell, not in this video, but this will be one coming up. We're going to show you how to make a cheap bait tank for pennies, live well. Also, Harbor Freight. This is the cheap Harbor Freight heat shrink, your hooks, and an old $15 heat gun from Harbor Freight too, I think. You know, which I'm sure a lot of people's got one, but you can get those cheap ones there from Harbor Freight, about 15 bucks. I'm going to show you how you can take heat shrink and your hooks, and you know, the more $high-dollar hooks y'all see, everybody's got them now. They got the rubber on them. Right there it is. You can make your same hooks. It takes you a couple of seconds to cut this piece, put it on right there, and you got the exact same hook for pennies, which you pay in dollars. Hey, we're going to show y'all how to save some money. Now, that being said, we're going to get into rig number 1 that I use. Oh, stay tuned, because we got some special stuff at the very end of this video. So we're going to get into rig number 1. Okay. I'm going to go over 4 rigs with y'all today. And these are on my 4 favorite rods. Ain't that ironic? Alright. This is the Ugly Stik Bridgewater. This is a heavy action rod. I think it's a heavy action. Excuse me. It is a medium heavy action rod. Okay, now, what I was told, this is a saltwater rod. That ain't what I was told, but this is a saltwater rod. Your Bridgewater is the Ugly Stik saltwater rod. Medium heavy action rod is the equivalent of a freshwater heavy action rod. That's what I've been told. This thing has a stiff backbone, and it has got a stiff tip. If you river fish, this, I want to say it's under 7 foot. No, it's exactly a 7-foot rod. This is a $45 7-foot rod. I've reeled in 25+ pound fish on this. It is an absolute beast of a rod. I absolutely love it. It's solid black, but all of this lights up. I put this reflector tape on it. You can buy this at Walmart. Duct Tape sells it. Cut it off, put it on. Sometimes you have to put a little bit of glue over it. I use fingernail polish glue, y'all. That stuff was amazing and it's cheap. And it holds up. It's durable. It don't cloud up like super glue and stuff does. Alright, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. I got my chaw in. Okay. This is a simple Carolina rig, y'all. It's probably the very first rig you ever learned how to use catfishing. I'm sure this is one everybody uses. Now, if you use circle hooks, you need to no knot snare your hooks. Excuse me, snare your hooks. Just like so. I've done videos showing you how to do this. Now, I use 50-pound mono Walmart Zebco brand leader line. I have no problems out of it. Carolina rig, y'all. Alright. We won't get into details because there's not much to say about that rig. Now, every rig that is tied for catfishing that I use starts off of a Carolina rig. Santee rig, y'all. Exact same thing as the Carolina rig. The only difference is you put a peg float. It's a simple peg float. Now you've turned this into a Santee rig. Now, the difference between a Carolina rig and a Santee rig. The Carolina rig, weight holds your bait and your line down. So this is your Carolina rig. Let's take the float off. It's your Carolina rig. So your bait's down. It's in the muck, the mud, the weeds, and everything. Okay? It's a very efficient rig. Some places, that's the only way you'll catch fish. So for Carolina rig, Santee rig won't catch you nothing. Some places it's vice versa. Now, the Santee rig, what it does is you've added the peg float. So now, weight's down. It's bringing your bait up off of the bottom, putting your scent more into the water column, and getting it up out of the mud and the muck. Some places, this is the only way you'll catch fish. Well, we won't say that, because you can catch them any kind of way. Some places, this is more efficient and works better than a Carolina rig. You just have to know your bodies of water. Get this one hooked up. Now, I have found that Carolina rigs and Santee rigs work pretty much the same for me in all bodies of water, unless I have extreme fast current. If I have very extreme fast current and or very, very, very muddy water, like in the dam after bad rainstorms, I will verge more towards using a Santee rig. The current helps bring my bait up, and I don't get hung up as bad in swift current. And if it's muddy and mucky and real bad, also brings it up, helps distribute the scent into the water column more. Now, this is a rig that I experimented with some last year. Had no luck. This year, I don't fish every time I go fishing. These rigs are in the water. My success rate by using this year, this simple rig right here, my hookup rate, catch rate, success rate is doubled by using this simple rig right here and the way that I have it fixed. Some guys put the rattlers on this side of the float. I have not tried that yet. I started out making them like this from watching YouTube videos, guys that made them, and this is how they were doing it. Put the beads here to help keep the mouth off of the rattlers, you know, if the catfish mouth goes up. Put this rig here. This is started out as a Carolina rig. Put the float on it, turns into a Santee rig, and you put these rattlers on it, which puts action, vibration into the water. It attracts and draws the fish to that, can get their attention. As you know, some of them might be stuck on something. This right here hits the water, nice old fresh piece of bloody bait on this thing, and these right here starts to moving around, draw the fish. It can help attract the fish to your bait. Some guys use these without the float. They will just put these on a Carolina rig and it'll just be the rattler. Haven't tried that yet. I've just been using it this way. Started catching fish with it, so I kept on doing it this way. We'll experiment and try some other ways later on down the line. Now, I have yet to be successful with this yet. This is what you call a spook. Bass fishermen use them, y'all. Y'all know. Top water, spooks, float. Treble hooks are here. Well, I just took them off. You can buy these online, usually 3 packs. They're expensive. I mean, there's like $17 with them already made. But you can get these old bass spooks, $4, $5, $6 a piece. You know, sometimes you can get them even cheaper than that. I just got one because I wanted to try it and see if I could have any success out of it. You can also buy these in blanks on Amazon for a big bag of them and paint them, or you know, powder dip them, hydro dip them yourself or whatever not. But what this does is, if I can get this to be still. Y'all hear that? Okay. This replaces the peg. And I have the rattlers. So now this is making noise. These are making noise. This is more buoyant than my peg float, and it's more durable. I got a really big hook on here, y'all. So these will float also. So this floats and this floats. So I got a big piece of bait. So I've got 2 things now making noise, drawing attention to my really big piece of bait. This is big enough to pick it up off the bottom, which one of the pegs may not be. But that's also another way to tie that rig. Y'all can look up on YouTube. You can look Chunky Cats, Dieter Millhorn Fishing, Catfish Dave. It's so many people that I really watched use this because they just absolutely kill. You know, they just slay it catching catfish with these rigs right here, and the rattlers. I mean, they just absolutely. It's amazing how many fish sometimes they pull in. I think I sat there and watched Chunky Cats on a rig like this one night. I pulled in like 40-some catfish right here. These, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, when somebody's pulling in 15, 20, 30 fish at a time, you know, on a rig, it draws your attention. It makes you say, oh, hold on now. What they got going on? So you got to start trying to use it, you know. Hope that it works for you. It's definitely working for them. They figured something out, so try it. Don't be afraid to try new things, guys. Really don't. Don't be afraid to try new things. You know, you get stuck in a wormhole and think that only one method works, only one hook or one this or one that. Sometimes I go fishing and you would think that big piece of bait equals big fish. Sometimes I had big pieces of bait and can't catch anything. I just keep downsizing the bait, and then all of a sudden I catch a 20-pound fish on a little itty bitty teeny tiny piece of bait. Go figure. I mean, it's just you have to learn your waters and the feeding and the way that they feed. Sometimes, like a couple of trips ago, I had crappie heads and nothing. I got no bites nowhere. I had 4 of them in the water. I reeled them all in. I replaced them with bluegill, and I caught 4 fish. They didn't want the crappie, but they took the bluegill. I mean, as soon as it hit the water, they hit a bluegill. So, hey, you got to learn your waters. know what to fish for, try to figure out what they're feeding on. Watch YouTube, y'all. Check it out, share it, comment, like it. There's other guys, there's so many people doing stuff on YouTube that will teach and show you how to do things, give you tips, give you pointers. That's where I get to a lot of my stuff from. I tweak it, work it, see how well it works. I pass it on to y'all. Now, let's show y'all a bank spot. Let's turn this around. Well, y'all, we got such a glare here. Alright, we're going to pause this and go inside. Alright, y'all. Y'all see that? Let's get the zoom in there. There you go. You park over here or park right here. There's bank accessible spots all down the river here behind the Y that you can get to. It doesn't quite look like this now, but there are lots of spots. I'm going to say there's probably like 6 accessible bank spots right here, and right there's your parking lot. It's very close. Blues, flats, and channels. A lot of people have been having a lot of success right here out of some flatheads here lately. Now, let's move over to the other side, y'all. Okay. Here is another spot. This is where a lot of people go catch a lot of bait fish. A lot of people throw their nets in right here because you can literally walk from this side to this side. It never gets more than about 2 foot deep, maybe 3 foot at the max, but you can walk all the way across this right here. A lot of people, this is where a lot of fly fishing is done. It's very, 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 very shallow. This is where a lot of your carp is caught. It's where a lot of your shad is caught. There's catfishing there's several catfish are being caught out of this area too, but like I said, it's very shallow and you can walk all the way across it. I know some guys don't like to fish water that shallow, but it's very accessible. You park right here and you walk down. I see another spot. You can keep on going. Let me see if I can get it to find my arrow here. Alright. Now, all of this here, you can park in that same spot, or you can park right here. All of this is accessible too. Now, all of this is right around the Danville YMCA. It's all right there behind it. This is your Exxon, Davenport Energies. A lot of people still call it the Exxon. You can fish in here. Now, your water starts getting deeper in here. It's a little deeper. And from what I've done and other people, it's a little bit better success rate through this area. You can fish both sides of the river here. You can park over there at the Exxon, or you can park in here and walk down your walking trail and fish this side. There are bank spots on this side also. You can pull you all the way down into here, but if you want to get down in here, you got to walk. There's nowhere to park. But a lot of good fishing down in here. This is all behind the Y, and on both sides of the spillway behind the YMCA in Danville. So I know a couple of y'all, some of the spots that I go fish at, you have to really walk to get to them. They're kind of extreme conditions. These are very somewhat more handicap friendly, we'll say, you know, for some of my older guys and gals that can't get too far away from their vehicles. These are very good spots to fish. Plus, they're flat. A lot of them are very sandy, and you'll catch fish there. Let's turn this around. All right, y'all. Hey, I hope these parts of these videos really helped y'all. Give y'all an idea of some bank spots down around the Danville YMCA and behind the Davenport Energy Exxon. Both sides of the river. Good place to catch bait fish. Good place to catch catfish. The way that I do my rigs, and like I said, venture out. Type it in on YouTube. Hey, you'll find it in my old timey reel with the soda bottle. I hope y'all got a good kick out of that one. Watching the birds, y'all. It's a beautiful day out here today. You like this video, hit that little bell. It'll give you a notification when I come out with another one. Also, one more thing. We will be coming out with a lot more DIY videos. We're going to try to help y'all save some money. I'm going to tell you what, if you got some ideas, shoot them to me. We'll turn them into a video. And I hope that my ideas helps you. We all got to save some money at this time. Take that DIY money, put it in a gas tank, because them prices ain't coming down, y'all. Hey, hats off to all y'all. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, following, sharing, and all the good stuff. Tight lines. God bless.